Okay, welcome back to episode 3. We've been trying to make this video all week, but life has really gotten in the way. So it might be only 2 videos this week. Hopefully we get the second one done. But we wanted to review the new fireworks shows at Disney. Harmonious and Enchantment just came out last week, and we wanted to review them, compare them to the last fireworks shows that they're replacing, and really let people know if it's worth seeing or not seeing. We're gonna rate both of these fireworks off their music, their fireworks, their overall visuals, and then we'll give them an overall score. We're gonna do a 1 through 10 scale just to keep it easy. And disclaimer, we haven't seen these fireworks in person. We wanted to go down there, we wanted to fly down there, but we watched the live streams, we watched them several times, different angles from different vloggers, and then also from Disney Parks vlog, which is the professional one. So I think we have a pretty good understanding of pretty much all aspects of the fireworks. So with that being said, I think we should start out with Harmonious. Harmonious is replaced Epcot Forever, and then that obviously replaced Illuminations, which was at Epcot since I was born. That's the only firework show that I knew forever. So first, let's start with the music. I don't know. You could take over and start with the music. What do you think?
So for Harmonious, I gave music a 7. I liked that they used the different languages. I thought that was very unique, and it kind of brought the idea of Epcot into the show more than it had before. So I personally enjoyed the music. I gave it a 7. I felt like there were some really, really, really strong moments, but then there were a couple times when it kind of doled out a little bit and the music was maybe too soft, where like it wouldn't have kept the kids entertained.
Yeah, I think the music was actually super strong. I'd probably give it an 8 out of 10. The reason why I give it an 8 out of 10 is because I know Disney has wanted to put, and people love talking about IP, intellectual property, into Epcot Forever. Not Epcot Forever, the show, just Epcot for a long time. And I know there's been a lot of pushback from people. And I thought this was a great way to put Disney movies into Epcot, but also keeping the overall theme of Epcot of, culture and learning and everything like that. So I thought it was actually a good idea to have these different movies celebrated with the countries in World Showcase, and I thought they did a great job. I specifically really liked the Mulan portion of the show. I also really liked how they incorporated Jungle Book into the show. That's some music that we don't really associate with Epcot at all, and they found a way to fit it in. So I really like that. So definitely 8 out of 10 for Harmonious's music. And then we'll go to fireworks. What did you think of the fireworks?
Yeah, so the fireworks for Harmonious were a 10 for me. I loved the fireworks. I liked that there were not only just fireworks in the air, but they had fireworks coming out of the different, what do we even call them? Yeah, the barges in the middle of the lake. So I loved the different fireworks that they had and how they were moving the barges, the arms in the barges to give fireworks at different angles. So yeah, fireworks were a 10 for me on Harmonious.
Fireworks, I'm trying to separate the barges and the fireworks. So just the fireworks for Harmonious, I would say, weren't the top of my list. I thought they were fine. I thought there were certain parts that were like mind-blowing and beautiful, and then I thought there was certain parts that lacked.
Hi, come here. Come here. We're saying what we think about the fireworks show. Remember the fireworks we watched? You want to come say hi? Come here. Mia, what did you think about the new fireworks show? Did you love them? Yeah? 10 out of 10? Yeah? Are you excited to see them in person? Yeah. All right. Bye.
And for the fireworks, for me, I thought they were okay. I want to separate the fireworks and the barges. because I consider the barges part of the visuals. But I thought there was some eye-opening, amazing moments for the fireworks. But then I thought there was some moments that kind of fell flat. So I would actually give it a 7 out of 10 for the fireworks. Just the fireworks alone. I definitely think even Epcot Forever had just flat out better fireworks. But Illuminations before that wasn't really a firework heavy show either. So I think it is definitely more similar to Illuminations in that regard. But yeah, just the fireworks overall was probably like a 7 out of 10. Then going to visuals, what did you think of the barges and everything?
Yeah, so for the visuals, I gave it an 8 out of 10. I liked how they had the different things being projected onto the water, and the projections were really interesting, but we saw a couple different vloggers from a couple different locations, and it was hard to see some of those visuals from certain locations. So it's not the kind of show where you could just go having no idea what the show is and have the best possible seat. You would have to know like where to be to get the best visuals based on where you're sitting. So that to me was kind of a deal breaker. So that's why I gave visuals an 8. I thought they were really interesting, but you'd have to be located in the correct spot to get the full effect.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. I think for me it was 9 out of 10. The only thing that I think makes it a 9 instead of a 10 is exactly what you said. You have to be in the right spot to really enjoy Harmonious. I think the other fireworks shows at Epcot, you really could find any spot around World Showcase and it would be fine. Harmonious, if you're not directly head on with like the main barge on either side of the lake, I think it kind of takes away from the show. Like it'll still be good. You'll still get the general picture, but I think when you're watching head on of the barges, it is so much significantly better than the other ones, the other views that you can have, that I think it needs to have a deduction of 9 out of 10. So, I think the barges and the water and everything is incredible. It's probably the best visuals of any Disney nighttime spectacular that they've ever released. But you just have to get the right view. And I think that'll come along with the Fast Pass system or Lightning Lane system, Genie Plus, and I think the firework dinners that they're offering, I think are going to be very popular because you get some good views with that too. So overall score, what would you give?
Yeah, overall I gave Harmonious a 9. So my reasons for that was I felt like it was way better than the last one that they had. The one that was kind of like there just waiting for the new show. Yep. But I don't like the barges being in the center of World Showcase all the time. I liked how in Illuminations they brought out the ball for the show and then it went away after the show. So it was a lot more magical. I feel like the barges like set you up to like really want to see the show, but it's kind of an eyesore in the middle of the World Showcase. And then also you have to be in the right spot to get the best visual. So I gave it a 9 out of 10 overall.
Yeah, I think that's actually kind of high. Based on my scores, I'd probably give like an 8.5 out of 10. Maybe close to more of an 8, just because, like you said, and you need to be in a perfect spot to enjoy it. The music is good. I thought it's a great way to get the movies into Epcot, but also they don't really have a strong original song or original music. I don't even think they do have any original music in the show for that show. So I think that's definitely a huge deduction because obviously Disney usually makes and composes their own music for these shows. So yeah, I would definitely. It's a good show. It's worth seeing. It's worth staying at the park to see. But I definitely would probably give it 8.5 out of 10. If I was rating Epcot Forever, I think it's better than Epcot Forever, like you said. I think Epcot Forever was very plain. It was very, you could skip it. In my opinion, it was probably like a 6 out of 10. But Illuminations was so amazing. And that was a 10 out of 10 show every time. And it pulled you emotionally every time you saw it, which I don't think Harmonious really does. I think it's very cool visuals. It's cool to see. it's kind of like breathtaking, eye-opening, but I don't think it really pulls you emotionally very much. So,
all right, now it's time to talk about Enchantment. Enchantment for me was so sad because I really, really, really loved Happily Ever After. That was my first Disney fireworks show.
I think so, because I think Wishes was gone before
I went to Disney.
Yeah.
So that's been like my Disney experience. I love the build up when Tinkerbell flies out the window. So Enchantment, let's talk about music first. What did you rate music?
So music, I gave a 9 out of 10, which might surprise people because I think the music maybe doesn't compare to Happily Ever After, the original song, but I do really like the original music that they made for Enchantment. And then I thought it was good that they used some of the movies that they usually don't use for music in the parks, like Soul, Frozen 2, just for example. And then they use like I'm pretty sure it's Fall Out Boy, the Fall Out Boy who sang, or no, Panic at the Disco who sang the Into the Unknown version. They used that version, not the version from the movie. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was probably the best part of the show, the Into the Unknown part, because it just brought a bunch of energy to the crowd and everything like that. So I really liked that portion, and I actually liked the original music. So 9 out of 10 for me for the music.
So music for me was a 7. I was not a fan of the music. One thing I liked about the music was I liked that they were using more of the current popular kids movies. But when I think of the 50th anniversary celebration show, I really wanted to see those throwbacks, like Hunchback of Notre Dame and like some of these movies that really made Disney from the beginning. I was hoping that we would get some of those throwbacks, and they kind of surprised me with doing the opposite. Now I think that our kids are going to love the show because these are the songs that they love. When Moana came on, I was like, oh, this is gonna be, they're
right.
gonna love that. But as an adult, I was hoping to get some of those more traditional Disney movies since it is the 50th celebration. Then the other reason I scored a 7 was because I didn't feel like the music built enough. It was kind of just like good music throughout, but there was never any like really like hard hitting, like this is awesome, time to cry type of a moment in the music. So yeah. What did you think about the fireworks?
Yeah, I would give the fireworks a 9 out of 10 also. I think they're very similar to Happily Ever After and Wishes fireworks. I don't think they change a ton. And I don't think any of those shows are really about the fireworks. I know it's a fireworks show, but I think a lot of the show is about the visuals on the castle and everything like that. But I think the fireworks complement the show perfectly, and I had no complaints about the fireworks. I think it was just a classic Disney fireworks show that people expect, and I think that's what they got.
Yeah, I gave fireworks a 9.7. I wanted to hit that 10, but I wasn't quite there yet, so I gave it a 9.7. I mean, Disney does fireworks unlike anyone else. So, for those people who aren't used to those kinds of fireworks shows, it's magical. And the way that they sync it up to the show is amazing. So they could do just about anything, and as long as it's Disney style, I'm going to give it a high score. What did you score visuals?
Visuals, this score changed the amount of times I saw it. So the first time we saw it, it wasn't from Main Street. It was just like a video of the castle. So I would say the first time I saw it, I was like, this is not that great. I thought it was pretty plain. I didn't really enjoy the visuals. I thought it was a huge step back from Happily Ever After. But then the second time I watched it, it was from Main Street, and honestly, it made the whole fireworks show. I think if you're not watching it from the middle of Main Street, I don't think the fireworks show is even really worth it, because I think the main portion of this fireworks show is the projections on Main Street that work with the show. So once I saw the projections on Main Street, and and added it up with the projections on the castle, along with the fireworks and everything like that, I definitely would give the projections and the visuals probably a 10 out of 10, because I think it worked together almost perfectly. And I think this is the one portion that was better than Happily Ever After. I thought it was a unique thing where you can experience the show from anywhere on Main Street, and you're getting these projections on the buildings. So you don't have to camp out for fireworks right in front of the castle for hours to get the best spot, because you could basically be by the front of the park, and maybe that might be even the best view. So I would definitely, this is one of the shining moments of the whole show, and I think that's why they changed it. So I think that was probably the best part of the visuals.
Yeah, I gave visuals 9 out of 10. So my reasoning for that, I thought that Main Street was really, really cool, how they had the projections on the buildings and how it matched what was happening on the castle. I'm going to get some backlash for this, but I thought that the 50th anniversary sign on the castle took away from the visuals a lot. There were a lot of times where that was like the main focus of the character, but you couldn't really see the projection on the castle because the 50 sign was in the way. So I kind of wish they either would have lowered the 50 sign so that the projection was hitting right above it, or like adjusted the projection in some other way so that it wasn't right on that sign. And then the other reason I gave it a 9 out of 10 instead of a 10 out of 10 is because we used to sit right along the Tinkerbell line, because our kids and I like to watch Tinkerbell fly right overhead, right on top of us, and you're not getting the full effect anymore if you're closer to where Tinkerbell is, if you're closer to where the castle is. So it's nice that you don't have to camp out, but at the same time, if you like to be closer to the castle, if you like to see Tinkerbell up close, then you're not going to get the full effect of the show anymore because of all of those projections happening on Main Street. So overall, I rated Enchantment an 8. I thought that it was really geared towards the younger generation and the kids. I personally wanted more throwbacks. I love what they're doing with the visuals down Main Street, but I think it's going to be hard to find a good spot, and I think Main Street is going to be that new spot that's way too crowded, and everyone's going to be fighting just to stand somewhere on Main Street.
Yeah, I think those are good points. If Happily Ever After was like a 15 out of 10, this is probably like a 9.1 out of 10. I think it definitely got in the nines. I really liked the show. I didn't like it the first time I saw it, to be honest. And the second time when the view was from the middle of Main Street, I thought it was incredible. I just thought the projections on the buildings really made it. So really enjoyed the show. I really like the original music. A big fan of it. I do understand your point about it being kind of the new generation Disney films. The one complaint about that portion is, if this is a 50th anniversary show, so I really wish they did more in the park songs. So like Pirates of the Caribbean, stuff from Splash Mountain, have like a Wildest Ride in the Wilderness shout out somewhere in this music. Just because we're celebrating the park, we're not celebrating these movies. So I think that was like the only complaint, and that's the only reason why I didn't really give it a higher score. But overall, I think both of these shows are worth going out and seeing them. I think kids will like it, adults will like it, and really any age will like it. Harmonious, obviously you got to get a great seat, got to get a great view. So that's one you might need to camp out for. But Enchantment, I think if you're really anywhere on Main Street and you can see those visuals on each side of you, I think you'll be in good shape.
All right, so let me give you some tips and tricks for those of you with kiddos. What we like to do, our kids are pretty good about napping inside the parks so that they're refreshed and able to handle a full day. If your kids are not very good at napping in the stroller, then this might be a time when you want to run them back to the hotel or wherever you're staying for a nap, and then come back around 4 or 5 o'clock refreshed. Do a couple more rides, eat a dinner, maybe have snacks while you're waiting for the fireworks to start, especially if you're at Epcot and you want to get a good spot. lock down your spot with the stroller, have one of the parents stay, have the other one go get snacks and bring them back, so that the kids are fed, they're happy, they're well rested, and they're able to last a little bit later than what they normally would for the fireworks show.
And kind of a tip for fall coming up, and this is just normal, easy science. Obviously, it's going to get dark earlier. So the fireworks shows are a little earlier in the fall and in the winter months of Florida when it's, still 80 degrees out. It does get dark earlier. So I know Happily Ever After sometimes even goes off at like at 8 o'clock or 8:15. So that definitely will help some of the kids, especially if you have an early nap. Usually we can push to at least 10 o'clock, 10:30. So that's a little tip for the fall, winter months. The fireworks will be a little earlier, which will be good for the kids.
Last tip for you is I would buy glow sticks ahead of time, and possibly even some of those flashing cool things that the kids see, because as soon as they see somebody with it, they're gonna want one, and then you can just whip them out of your bag. I got these at the dollar store. Here you go. Here's 20 glow sticks, and we're not spending $30 on a flashing toy.
Yeah, that's a huge, because you can get like 500 glow sticks for like what, $15?
Yeah, cheap.
So and those are just as fun as the big Disney ones that they give out in the parks for $30 to $40. So yeah, I think that's a great tip. And other than that, I think, like I said before, fireworks shows are worth seeing. I think that's what Disney's about. I think when the fireworks were taken away during COVID, I think Disney was definitely missing something. And I think fireworks kind of cap off the day, and it's a great way to cap off the day. So I definitely recommend napping and going to see them at night.
Thanks for watching.
See you next time.